recording all of this. That's awesome. Okay, so I'll be recording a different beginning for people on YouTube. So, yeah, first 10 minutes I forgot. See, this is what happens when I don't do this for 2 weeks and I completely forget, but it's perfectly fine. Alright, so let's get into some Magic the Gathering Arena first and foremost. Here we go. Let's shrink this here. You're seeing all the behind the scenes stuff right now. And we got Arena up and running right here. Alright, so like I said, we're going to be going into some standard with the Iro Lessons deck. Play a few games there, best of one, and then we'll be going into um, our next part here. So let us begin. Here we go. Of course, we have the epic music here. Also with Mega Man, reason why I wanted to do Mega Man on there is because the soundtrack for Mega Man X was just spectacular. I still love that soundtrack to this very day. All right, so let's see what we can get into here for standard against the Scene Bean 21, and away we go. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and keep this here. We got a good little opening, got all three of our mana, and it should be pretty cool little matchup here. So they've already had the mulligan. Alright, so here we go. So we're going to play the Stomping Grounds here, and they're tapped. Let the opponent go. Magic the Gathering right now is actually looking really exciting, especially since we have coming up in the next few weeks, we have Lorwyn Eclipse, which is a brand new set that'll be coming out. It's one of 3 sets that'll be within the multiverse of Magic the Gathering that a lot of people are looking forward to here. We're going to play this Turtle Lion here. We'll play the big guy there. So Lorwyn Eclipse is going back to the fan favorite plane of Lorwyn and Shadowmoor, where now both the nighttime and the daytime are basically side by side. So you're getting to see a lot of characters both in their light form and their shadow form. And they recently did a video on it where they did a Bogart ballad, and they were able to do something really cool with Jim Henson Studios, which if you have not seen it, by all means, please go watch it. I'm a huge fan of... I'm a very big fan of Jim Henson Studios, and I think they just hit it out of the park with the video. I really do. I think they just did a magnificent job. Definitely give me vibes of Labyrinth from back in the day. I think they just did a fantastic work with the puppeteering, with the puppets and everything, and the voice actors and the song that they did. My wife and I were watching it, and she was messing with Palia a little bit. Let's see, whenever you cast a spell, oh, we're just going to counter that. So with us watching the Lorwyn Eclipse preview, and they had that right off the bat, yeah, you would. It was cool to see what they were doing, but while we were watching it, my wife was just bebopping the entire time. She really, the song was an earworm, and she was like, what in the world are we watching? And she saw it, and she was like, okay, no, this is really cool. And she just kept bebopping along, and she enjoyed it, and it was just a whole lot of fun being able to watch her just rock out and everything. So the set looks amazing. Getting to see a lot of the characters that players have grown up with over the years through Magic the Gathering, being able to go back to Lorwyn, I think it's a really cool idea for them to go back and see where the characters have evolved and how they're changing because of the new state of the Lorwyn plane itself, with day and night existing at the exact same time. So if you're looking forward to it, by all means, please let me know what you're looking forward to for Lorwyn, because I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun to check out when the set comes out. All right, so it's back to my turn here. I think let's actually go on ahead and do some accumulated wisdom. One goes into my hand. Let's go ahead and get Toph there. I think we will go on ahead. Let's go ahead and get Toph out there. And then we can do some stuff with her in a minute. You may discard a card. If you do, return target answer sorcery. Let's go ahead and get accumulated knowledge back. Actually, no, we'll decline it for now. Because I forgot that's whenever you cast the spell. Alright. Alright, so what are you? Serpent Seeker, Flying Death Touch, Exhaust 4. Yeah, that's not going to be good. Alright. Let's go ahead and play this land. Let's go ahead and let's bring in a dragon here. And we will go on ahead and start building that up, and we'll just let that be for now. So for anybody who's coming in late, welcome. This is David Hedge here of House Hedge Gaming. We are here doing some Magic the Gathering Arena, and we'll be playing some Mega Man X in just a little while. Catch everybody up, and especially because I did not record, and that's not good. Deal X, divided between trees and planeswalkers, where X is the number of lands you control. I love this dragon, but I hate this dragon at the same time. Makes me wish I would have got back my counterspell. But luckily, they're going to have to... Alright, so we got lessons. There we go. We'll be able to mess with that here in a second. That dragon's going to get me. I'll get back into what I was going to say here in just a moment. Let's go on ahead and do this here. Let's go on ahead and get this, because we're going to need to try and mess with that sucker right there. This next turn is going to hurt. Alright, so right now, what are you? Whenever you cast, okay, that's going to resolve. Oh, that's a Leviathan, alright. And that is a 21-21. Plenty of number of lands. Yeah, I think they're going to be able to get a few more lands from that. Wow, if I didn't have to deal with one big one, I gotta deal with two. Luckily, that does not trample. So, well, I say this. And exile a target opponent during their. They're gonna be able to do some stuff next turn. Yep, so they're gonna be able to control me on my next turn. I think what we're going to do is we're going to politely concede this one, because this is definitely going to be, yeah. That awesome idea. I love it. I've never been a big fan of Mindslaver, but when you have to go through a few hoops to get it taken care of and be able to control somebody's turn, i.e., for an example, being able to sacrifice every single one of your lands to be able to make something to 21/21, then equip the equipped it with some big artifact, and then have to pay a good cost to be able to do it. Okay, I'm down with that. Awesome job. I love it. All right, so I'm going to go back in here, and we are going to see what we can do next in standard. And let's go ahead and get in another game with lessons and see if I learned a lesson from that last game, because, geez Louise. See, and I think this is going to be one of the weirder things, too, coming up for Magic the Gathering, because now we're heading into this year in 2026. We have so many different standard sets that are coming out, not just with the ones that are within Universe, but we're going to have another Marvel set. We're going to have uh, the Hobbit set coming out. We are going to have Star Trek, and we are having Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They'll be all a part of Standard. And so far, Wizards' record has been a 2-1 for within universe releases. I think they did a fantastic job with Final Fantasy. I really enjoyed what they did with that set, even though some of the special art overlays were a little bit weird. But then you had Spider-Man, which ended up a lot of people's minds being like the worst Magic the Gathering set in quite some time, which I do agree. Like, even though I love Spider-Man, I love the whole backstory with it. I've always been a huge fan of the Sinister Six and the Kingpin, which we didn't get to see any of those. But I thought they did a. I was thinking they were doing a better job with it, but unfortunately they didn't. And Spider-Man ended up being, like I said, a lot of people's opinion being one of the worst sets that Magic the Gathering has done last year in 2025. And of course you would. So, with that being said, we then had, of course, Avatar Last Airbender, which is by far one of the best sets that Wizards of the Coast did in 2025 outside of Edge of Eternities. I thought Edge of Eternities being a space set, a lot of people were very cautious about that because they're thinking, oh, it's going to be space, it's not going to be magic themed. But in reality, it really was, and I thought they did a fantastic job and a tremendous job, which I say that a lot. Um, Going through and making the set to be just as thematic as possible for Avatar, but at the same time being able to keep it within the realm of Magic the Gathering. So I thought they did a tremendous job with that. Alright, we'll keep that on top. Give me another lesson there. Or actually, we could put it in here for now because we can get some use out of our dragons. So, but now we got Lorwyn Eclipse coming up soon. Like I mentioned, I think that set's going to be a lot of fun to play. And then TMNT, currently, I'm not really a big fan of what I've seen so far. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope they do a decent job with Turtles. But then again, when you have the lands be slices of pizza, I think then you've lost the plot a little bit. So that would mean that the following set, the Marvel set, should be a decent one, hopefully, because you're getting a Fantastic Four Commander deck, which looks to be pretty cool. It's a 4 color. And if they're doing that one, hopefully I'll do a second deck, maybe with Doctor Doom at the helm, but only time will tell on that one. Alright, so let's go on ahead and we'll play another Dragonfly. And we'll go ahead and attack with that one. So back to what I was saying originally. So standard is going to be really rotating through a lot over the next several months, because since you have 7 sets coming out in standard, 3 in the multiverse, 4 universe beyond, it's going to be, if you're a player, it's going to be really hectic for you to try and keep up with the metagame. If you're trying to go to your local game store, if you're trying to go to the Spotlight Series or the Pro Tour or anything like that, a lot of these tournaments, you're going to need to stay on top of everything when it comes to the format. So I think that with it being ever changing, it's going to be more of a challenge. So if you're able to make it through any of it, if you're able to make it through all the if you're able to make it through all the changes and everything, keep up to date with the way the metagame's going, then by all means, have fun. I think with me, it'll just be me on Arena, just having fun with that, and just playing Commander here at home. I think that's the one thing we'll be doing more than anything else when the new sets come up. Which, by the way, we'll have some Commander videos coming up on the YouTube channel in the near future. Hopefully some 4-player games so you can see how Cindy can just wreck everybody in one shot, because Lord knows she can do that a lot. Alright, so let's go on ahead. We are going to... Alright, we're going to play Sokka, because I want to get rid of this one here. And again, alright, so at least I can counter it, which is fine. And I don't need a discard because I was going to discard to do the combustion technique, so I don't have to worry about that. Let's go ahead and play that and get rid of that big serpent. That'll bring our dragonflies up to 4/3s, and let's go ahead and attack with both. Alright, so let's go on ahead and just keep on attacking. No reason to do anything else. Unless they want to play a big 5-0, that's fine. Okay, so if anything, we can go ahead and tap with Sokka. Yep, that makes sense. Okay, I can get a little bit tricksy with it. Because I wouldn't mind drawing a card, but I think I'm just going to end the turn right there. Let's go here. They're tapped. I'm actually going to change this up here real quick, which will just be from my end so I can actually see what's going on here on my other screen. Alright, there we go. That did not change anything on your end. Nope, we're good. And of course I see my lovely wife chiming in, dang right I can. Probably just referring to all the things that she was beating me at in gaming. And I love you too, my sweet angel. Alright, so next to combat, let's see what they have here. And of course they got more crabs. Makes sense to me. Alright. So tapping down both my flyers. Yes, my little lady, that is your specialty, blowing up commander boards. So I will never argue that at all. I could definitely tell stories of how I got her in the Magic the Gathering. I actually have one of the Garuk versus Liliana starters, the Planeswalker decks they did, the dual decks, many moons ago. And I showed her how to play with those decks, and we have a sealed one over here that we keep because that's her starting point, and the set that she started in was Zendikar, and she has been whooping my backside ever since. So, and I'm having to deal with a bunch of crabs and leviathans, which is not good. So I'm going to block a crab. I'm going to take 11. And of course they get a burst lightning and they're going to target my turtle. And yes, my little lady, it is Zendikar. Alright, so my opponent is at 10. They have a blue and one open. And I just drew a Grand. I'm gonna... Alright, so I'm gonna try to be a little bit tricky on this here. Because they can't play another crab because they don't have a blue and a red open. I'm gonna bounce my Gram back to my hand to draw a card. And that worked. Holy crap. Okay, cool. Okay, so we're 1-1. We'll do one more game and then we'll jump into some Mega Man. Alright, so while I'm getting ready to go into a third game here, and since I forgot to hit record for anybody who's going to watch this later on YouTube, so at the beginning of the video, or beginning of the stream here, oh, I got a pack. I'll open that in a sec. So at the beginning of the stream, I went over some updates of what you'd expect to see on the YouTube channel and here on Twitch in the upcoming months. But I also wanted to make mention that unfortunately on Christmas Eve, my wife and I lost one of our fur babies in Trixie. She was our oldest cat. We've had her for over 15 years. She was actually with us a month before we got married, and she was my big buddy. And we lost her unexpectedly on Christmas Eve. But the last thing that she did before she left was she checked on me when I got upset the night before, and she was able to just do like she always did and just made sure to check on me, and she was my big shadow. And the house is a little quiet because I don't hear a stampeding buffalo anymore, especially when it came to food getting poured. But we lost her over Christmas Eve. and the holidays, but she was our fur baby. I always will love her, and I miss my big buddy. Uh, but also, as far as updates go for what you can expect to see on the channel, on YouTube, and here on Twitch, we have the Dice Throne Tournament to the crown a first ever House Hedge Gaming Tabletop Champion. That video will be going up on the 23rd for the roster selection. We're going to be doing Flashback Fridays, talking about TCGs that are no longer around, or they're around but they've went through a lot of different metamorphoses. Um, we'll be starting that up end of March, beginning of April, doing it as a once a month series for Flashback Fridays. Also, we'll be doing 1v1 games, showing you couples games that my wife and I will play once a month, showing you just how bad she can beat me at those games, and she's been doing it for over 16 years. And then finally, going into more than just board gaming and all here on Twitch, hence the reason why we're doing Megaman tonight, after one more game of Arena. So let's go ahead and jump into one more game here to see if we can go 2-1 or my usual record of 1-2. And here we go. One more time with the lessons. Alright, I think we have a name for it now. So it looks like our 1v1 couples game night will be known as a date night demolition. Yeah, demolition of a house is what's going to happen every time. I will definitely be looking forward to doing that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then again, anytime I get a chance to do any gaming with my wife Cindy is always a great time. I've always been enjoying every time I get a chance to play any games with her. Whether it be board games, card games, video games, you name it. I enjoy every bit of it. I love it always. So, all right, here we go. Try not to be too sappy on these streams, but I can't help it when I talk about my wonderful lady. She's definitely helped me out more than I can ever recall. So, all right. So let's see if we can go 2-1. Looks like they're playing elves. Oh, I'm so gonna burn that elf. Because any other time I would not be worried about elves, but when you have a badger mole or a badger mole cub like running around, yeah, I'm gonna be worried. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our blue mana here. And for anybody who is watching on the stream, by all means, please, I got the chat open. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. I'd be more than glad to answer them while I'm on here. We could talk about wrestling, talk about gaming, anything you like. I'd be more than happy to chime in on what's going on. So, let's see. Let's go ahead. Climb that. Alright, so they have a Blooming Stinger. When this creature enters, no entire creature you control gains death touch. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about that. But now they got a Druid. Alright. We got some nice little upbeat music here for Bloomborough. Let's actually go ahead and level up our artisan's talent there. And we'll just go ahead and pass the turn. I don't think that this music definitely can outdo what happened in the Lorwyn Eclipse video. Like I said at the top of this thing, if you have not seen that video yet, or just the preview video itself for Lorwyn Eclipse, please check it out. I think that's probably one of the better things that Wizards has done as far as not only just video quality, but for crossover with Jim Henson Productions doing the a Bogart ballad. I thought was really great. Um, really enjoyed it, and plus the set itself just looks to be phenomenal. The artwork, a lot of it being hand done. Uh, I think they just did a. They made the right choices for the set, and I can't wait to see how it all comes together at the end. So I think we're going to go ahead and just discard that. And let's go on ahead and get rid of the king while we're at it. You can keep your bear. I'm taking the king. And go no attacks. And that's a Galta, but we are just going to go ahead and counter that Galta. I am not going to deal with a big dinosaur, not tonight. Even though I think that dragon just got mad at me, but that's okay. Alright, let's go ahead and level my artist talent up to full here, and if it did not have Death Touch, I would swing. And plus I'm a 10 anyway. And of course there was Rabid Bite. Why not? Alright, so it's a 4/4. I think let's go on ahead and take out the bear. Go down to 8. And unfortunately I lose this game because 4, 5, 6, 7. And we'll see what they got. Because right now I'm at 8. They have 7 power on the board. Now they have more than 7 power on the board. Yep. Alright, so we ended up going 1 and 2, which is usually my F&M record, so I'm not going to argue that. I think that's fine. Even though I think they just said achievement unlocked, which is probably getting stomped, so. Alright, so let's go on ahead. We're going to open up our pack real quick here. And we got Iroh. Okay, so I got another copy of Iroh. Might be something I'll need to do. And what is my achievement? I got the Color Mastery of Green. That is put 2 or more lands into play in a single turn 100 times over a number of... Good gracious. Yeah, I guess I've done that. Alright, and of course, it's the artwork for Rapid Growth. Makes a lot of sense to me. Alright, so that is our arena for tonight. I'll work on another deck to play, but I definitely will be doing a lot more with it once Lorwyn Eclipse comes out, because I think that's just going to be fun to play in general. So let's go ahead and expand our screen here. Going ahead and do that here. Hopefully I didn't mess up too bad. If I did, I'm so sorry. Alright, so while I'm getting the other game put up here, for Megaman, we're going ahead and I will actually go into a little bit of history for Megaman. So, Alright, so you'll be hearing a little bit in the background here. Alright, so let me get this set up and then I'll give you a little bit of the reason why I can put Mega Man on here. Alright, so we got that pause for a sec. So, starting with Mega Man, which I'm actually going to shrink down here so you can see it. We're going to start doing more with video games in general. So, video games and board gaming and card gaming are along the same line. But in years past, we have seen crossovers between characters that originated in the world of video gaming and they were put into the world of board games and card games. Mega Man has been a part of board gaming and card gaming for well over 20 years, which is really hard to believe. So I did a little bit of research, and this will be one of the things I will actually go into more in depth when we do the Flashback Fridays on the YouTube channel. But all the way back from 2004, when Decipher was a company. Decipher was the company that made the Star Wars trading card game. They also made Lord of the Rings. It was a huge company back in the late 90s, early 2000s, but unfortunately things changed and they went out of business. But one of the games they had was Mega Man NT Warrior. That one, you were able to choose to be either Mega Man or one of the bosses for the game, and it was a well done game to a degree, but it was also really slow. And in the early 2000s, you had so many different trading card games and miniature games that were coming out, and if you didn't grab somebody's attention right off the bat, it was really hard to get a foothold into the world of gaming. And even though Mega Man had the notoriety and everything, unfortunately, it did not have the staying power. I believe it only lasted for me like 4 sets until it ultimately hit its last life and was taken off the shelves. You can still find it to this day. The decks and the booster boxes were cheap for the longest time. But then 2020 happened, COVID happened, and a lot of the older sealed product just skyrocketed because people wanted to open up everything that they possibly could of any type of card game, and Mega Man was one of them. So, good case in point, I would go to Gen Con every year. Either it would be Hills Wholesale Gaming or it would be one of the other booths that had like retro gaming, card games, and all that. But the boosters would be like $2, $3. But then in the past few years, they've gone up to being like 10, 15, $20, starters being around 30, $45. But luckily, if you want to play Mega Man NT Warrior, you can go to Tabletop Simulator and be able to play it that way. But in addition to that, Mega Man was part of UFS, Ultimate Fighting System, which was originally a part of Sabretooth Games, which then folded and became part of Fantasy Flight, and then Fantasy Flight took UFS and put it into Jasco Games, and Jasco Games then got rebranded into Universe, which is still going on to this very day. But Mega Man was a part of that, so you were able to have characters like Mega Man and Dr. Wily going one-on-one against M. Bison and Chun-Li, or the characters from Darkstalkers, or many other different fighting games. Mega Man was one of the first ones they went, you know what, it's not a fighting game, but we're going to put the characters into it. And now you have Mega Man being a part of Universe, along with a lot of popular anime titles like Attack on Titan. You're going to have TMNT getting ready to join in soon, and several others. And it's still going on to this very day. It's a game that has went through different changes and metamorphoses over the past few years through the various companies. And I'm glad it's still going on. It's still going strong, and I would love to see it continue on the same vein as what Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and of course Magic the Gathering has done over the past few years, as in like 30 years. But Mega Man, as well as in board gaming, Jasco Games released Mega Man the board game, which had a good premise. The miniatures looked really well done, but everybody got to play as Mega Man. So you had your own board, and you got to basically go through the stages as Mega Man. I wish they would have done it to where you could have been the other characters, like what Kess Entertainment has recently done with Mega Man Adventures. You got to choose between different characters, whether it be Mega Man, Proto Man, Roll, some of the others, and you got to be a part of that game. And that's one I would love to be able to get on the channel. So, Kess Entertainment, if you're watching this Twitch stream or you're watching the replay of it on YouTube, and you have a copy of this just lying around, I would be more than happy to have somebody review it for you. Just remember, House Hedge Gaming is here for all of your gaming review needs. So, shameless plug right there. So, we're going to get into some Mega Man X, which is one of my favorite Mega Man games that they ever came out with. And not only because of the bosses that you get to go in against, but also the music in it, I really did enjoy, and a lot of other things about it. It just reminds me of the good parts of childhood. Just being able to get homework done, hop on the Super Nintendo, play the game, and hope and pray that the memory didn't fail out of my cartridge. So we're going to get onto this for a little bit, play through the intro and a couple of levels, and then we'll call it a night, and I'll have the chat open if anybody wants to talk anything. And if there's anything else that comes to mind, we'll just have some fun with it. So here we go. Let's go ahead and click back on that. We're not going to do rookie mode. And that classic Capcom opening right there. I will never get old of that. Never get tired of that. Alright, so let's go on ahead and get this started. I definitely want to thank my wife for reminding me that I can use a PS5 controller on my computer. Because I was looking for a controller to play the computer games and all, and I was like, definitely we're a bit out of the price range for right now. And then Cindy reminded me, hey, I was able to use Palia, or play Palia with the PS5 controller hooked to a laptop. So this definitely works out a lot better than trying to do the buttons and everything. So. But there's a lot of different video games that are part of board gaming, which is really cool to get into. I'll actually be doing some Phasmaphobia on here at some point down the line, even though Hannie has been doing that on their channel with Quokka Cheeks 00. She'll be doing that more frequently than I will be, but I'll definitely be doing more with Phasmaphobia on here because, well, Phasmaphobia, they're getting ready to make a board game of it, which will be it'll be very cool to see how Phasmaphobia goes into it here. Alright. And let me actually see here. Is there a way for me to just turn this down a little bit? I'm just going to see if I can adjust the volume here. Okay. I will definitely need them a little later. Still trying to learn some of this stuff, so I knew, like, for Twitch and everything, it's going to be going through some growing pains, so. Actually, I think let me actually do this here. Hopefully that'll help out a little bit. Alright. Yeah, I kind of figured it was going to pick up the buttons on the controller, so I will definitely need whatever help I can get from that. Just shows the microphone's pretty good. Alright, God, I hate those little things. Like, the things that just drop out in the middle of nowhere and they laugh at you when they hit you. I've always hated those in this game series. Just need to make it a little bit farther. Because I know this car is going to start dropping down now. We're getting ready to be introduced to the big bad. Or somewhat big bad. And it took me forever to learn this is not a boss fight I was going to win when I first played this game. Alright. You worthless piece of scrap metal. Did you think you could defeat me? Da, 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 da. I guess I'm not powerful enough to defeat him. Actually, you shouldn't expect to defeat him. He is designed to be a war machine. Yeah, I mean, he was in a big exosuit, why not? Remember, you have not reached full power yet. If you use all the abilities you were designed with, you should become stronger. You may even become as powerful as I am. I'll scout ahead and collect as much information on Sigma's fortress as I can. I'll meet up with you when you get there. See you later. So he gets to scout out. X, I know you can do it. So Zero gets to scout out ahead and leaves Mega Man to go against the 8 bosses. Thanks a lot, Zero. Alright. So of course here we have all 8 of the big bosses here. So first one I always went with, Chill Penguin. So let's go ahead and get into that one. And again, I love the soundtrack on this. Like, each level was so unique for its time. Like, this was the first, I think this was the first or second title for Mega Man on Super Nintendo when it came out. Because I think maybe Mega Man 7 was out at the time when this one came out, or it might be vice versa. But I was always a big fan of the X series, and this was just, like, to me, one of the best games that Capcom have done. Next to Saturday Night Slam Masters, which is a fighting wrestling game that I really enjoy. I wish they would do something with that. Remake it at some point, because I think there's still a lot of stuff you could have done with that kind of fighting game. here and try not to get hit by these bats. Alright. See, that's my one hitch, is that I don't have my slides yet, that's what you get in this stage. There we go. Alright, so here we go. So this is the full potential that Mega Man was able to get in this game. So you've come. X. I gave you the ability to choose your own path in life. And I hope the world would allow you to choose a peaceful one. But now it seems that you are destined to fight. Destined? I went destined right there. Because I thought the world might need a new champion, I have hidden capsules like this one. If you find and use them, you will be able to increase your powers beyond anything the world has ever known. Step into this capsule and receive an acceleration system to boost your speed. Good luck, X. Cannot really have a Mega Man game without Dr. Light. And I think if I'm correct, this is one of the first Mega Man games where you did not have Dr. Wily as the big bad. Instead, you had a Sigma, who is the dangest pain in the backside to have to deal with. I don't think I've ever been able to beat the game because I've always gotten to Sigma, get past his first stage, and then would get to his second stage and would never get past it that I can recall. So hopefully while I'm doing this, maybe I might be able to do that at some point down the line. So, because I think tonight we'll go with, try to get through Chill Penguin, and then the next one would be, I think the next one would end up being Spark Mandrill, would be the next one to do. Because you always want to take advantage of all of the, nope, I can't do that. So each boss had their own weakness. Chill Penguin was always the first one I went to, and then you would go to the Spark Mandrill next, which Spark Mandrill was weak to ice, which was always nice to go against. Because every time you hit him with the ice from Chill Penguin, he was able to just make him freeze and he would stop. So because you would think it would be Flame Mammoth that would have the thing with ice, but they actually switched it up, so I'm really glad they did. Alright, going after Chill Penguin. Let's see how many times I get taken out before I actually get a chance to beat him. Oh, that's it. That's such epic music, I swear I love it. Alright, so right off the bat, we're just going to hang around up here a little bit. See if we can try to catch him anytime he wants to hit the ring so he can create a little snowstorm to blow his penguin sculptures around. With this one, it was always patience to try to get him, and of course I got frozen. You suck. did that too soon. Alright, there we go. And gotcha. Alright, Chill Penguin is done. This may seem weird, but it's definitely a whole lot different playing this on a PS5 controller than it is on a Super Nintendo controller. Alright, so you get Ice Shot, or Shotgun Ice. So I always loved that weapon because you were able to hit it, and if you hit off against a wall or some sort of solid object, it would just splinter off and hit back onto a character, which I thought was really cool. Alright, so let's go on ahead, save the progress. And then we'll go to Spark Mandrill. Because then from Spark Mandrill, we can go into the one for Armored Armadillo. So here we go. But yeah, I think one of the things I'm going to be looking forward to doing whenever I do like the video games with the board game crossovers is just doing the research and being able to see how much of a reach that they have. Because honestly, I could not remember that. Even though I knew about Megaman and T-Warrior being a thing, I could not believe that it was over 20 years ago now. Which I should have thought about that since back in early 2000s, there was just about everywhere you turned around, you ended up finding a trading card game based off of an IP. Whether it be Megaman, there was, of course, Pokemon, which started out as a video game, but also you had like I said, Neopets, you had Pokemon, you had Yu-Gi-Oh, which was a card game based off of anime based off a card game. Let's see if that works. Nope. There we go. But yeah, just thinking about it, you also had everything from G.I. Joe, Kids Next Door, Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, you had so much that was coming out at that point in time that if they could just get an IP for anything, they would put it into a card game at the time. And a lot of them just did not work, but they were just throwing everything they could against the wall and see if it stuck. Like, I mean, we even had Austin Powers, a trading card game, which to this day you could probably still find copies of it at Ollie's, was where I saw it at before. And I am about ready to have my first person taken out. See, this is what I get for trying to multitask between me trying to talk a little history and trying to play a video game. Oh, you so-and-so. Okay, I think I passed the checkpoint already. Maybe. Oh, you. Okay, good news, I made the Spark Mandrill. Bad news, I'm at 1 health. Man, the intros for these big bosses were just really cool. Alright, let's see if I can get it before he touches me. Which I think I can. And there we go. Whew. All right. I'll probably do it every single time I hear it. Alright, you get Electric Spark. Alright, so that will be good up against Armored Armadillo, which I think... we will do that for next time. Alright, so let me just pause this here. No, I didn't want to do that. Okay. Alright, so... actually got that pause. Let me go on ahead and make my screen bigger one more time here. And we'll call a night on that. So we got a little bit of Mega Man in between the intro, 2 of the bosses down, 6 more to go. So I'll be doing that a little bit over the next few weeks to go against the bosses and then get through the main levels, finish the story, and do like Cody Rhodes did in WrestleMania 40 and try to finish my story and finally beat Sigma and be able to have video evidence of that on here. But I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. I'm going to try and do some streams a little bit more frequent. Not just on Mondays, but maybe just every once in a while. Try and get some more on here, especially since I can do more streaming when it comes to games like the Mega Man series with Phasmaphobia. I wouldn't mind going diving into Palia. And there's several others that I can actually start doing gaming on, or start doing streams for in gaming. But it's great to be able to do this, be able to get back into it, have a different angle for the camera, being able to just have fun with it and everything, and just get back into the swing of things and all. And I want to thank all of you for watching, whether you watched the live stream tonight or you're watching it back on the YouTube channel. Just remember, every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Dave House 2025, right here on Twitch. Be doing a mix of everything from this point forward, whether it be board games and card games, doing stuff with like Tabletop Simulator, doing stuff like Magic the Gathering with Yu-Gi-Oh! Might be getting some Pokemon soon, but also just going into video games in general and going to the crossovers and going into a little bit of history between the video games and the card and board games that they inspired to be made, and to be a part of this great realm of tabletop gaming that we have. But if there's anything that you're interested in seeing, by all means let me know, and if I can stream it or talk about it, my eyes are open in the comments. I'm more glad to respond anytime I see it. And as I went over in the updates, we have some stuff that has been suggested, and we're going to be putting it into rotation here in the next few months. And next week we'll have more updates here on the channel, for Twitch and for YouTube, playing some more Mega Man. Might even get into some Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know yet. See if I can delve back into that. This has been a long while since I played Yu-Gi-Oh! But I think I might be able to get into some old school by the time it's all said and done. But thank you all so much for watching this, and thank you all so much for supporting the channel and helping us grow here on Twitch, help us grow on YouTube, and see what 2026 can be in the realm of gaming for House Hedge Gaming. But thank you all so much, and until next week here on Twitch, and until next time, my friends, stay safe and take care.